there, welcome back to TechScoop. Thank you for joining us. Now today you're in for an absolute treat because once again I'm joined by Mr. Ryan Economos from Mimecast, and we're talking about the evolution of attacks. So this week I want to talk about why it's so hard to stay ahead of all of these attacks. So Ryan, thank you for joining us. Good to see you again.
It's good to be back again.
So what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's obviously it's really difficult to stay ahead of the attacks all the time. The reality is that so long as technology has existed, people have looked at ways to exploit that, whether it's identifying like technological gaps or identifying even like gaps within the organization from an education perspective. We're seeing that attackers themselves, they're forming communities, they're sharing ideas, they're sharing pursuits. So it is very difficult to always be that sort of one step ahead.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we absolutely try to be.
Yeah.
The other thing is that, like, in terms of the cadence of new attacks that are out there, like if you take phishing sites as an example, the last stat I recall reading was the anti-phishing work group stating that each and every day there's over 46,000 new phishing sites that are published. So it's impossible to stay ahead when they're developing at that rate.
Yeah, that's quite a substantial amount. So I suppose the question is, what can we do? What can we do to stay ahead?
Two key components.
Yeah.
I think the first key is obviously, or the first key component is the technology. So technology obviously exists that can bridge the gap, and it can provide a superior level of protection based on the attacks that we're seeing. So like if you take Mimecast as an example, we've got services that specifically focus on stopping those sort of targeted attacks. So URL rewrites that can analyze website content, sandboxing of attachments to check the behavior to ensure the documents your users are seeing are actually safe, as well as the checks against impersonation type attacks. But the second key component on top of the technology is your end users.
Yeah.
The reality is that the attacks are having an impact on organization because users are making decisions that compromise the environment. So it is really important to build up that concept of a human firewall. And that can be done via a number of different mechanisms, whether it's posters in the lunchroom, whether it's emails that get sent out from the IT team, whether it's phishing simulation attacks, and there's lots of software out there that exists that can perform that function. And there's also the ability to, or I guess the need to have frequent training. So there's no point in running like a cybersecurity awareness program if it's a sort of point in time check. Like it needs to be continuous. You need those constant touch points to make sure that it's effective. So user education is a huge part of it.
Okay. So I suppose that kind of borders on another topic which I want to get into in the future. Possibly I'll call you back in and we can have a chat about it. But it would be about creating a security culture, or a culture that really fosters security and having a secure environment. Everyone's accountable for their actions when they're interacting with emails or what they're doing on the computers.
100%. Like I think security is no longer the problem of just IT. It's a business problem now. So the responsibility sits with each and every user inside the organization, technical or not.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Cool.
I think that's all we have time for today. But thank you again.
More than welcome.
Ryan, for joining us one more time. It's been great.
It has.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it.
I've learned a lot, and I'm sure everyone out there has benefited from the wealth of knowledge that you've amassed after working at Mimecast for such a long time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks very much. Thank you out there for watching, and we'll see you soon.